Jason, would you pray for us, please?
Dear Lord, we thank you for another day that you've given us. We thank you for the beautiful fall weather. We just ask that you would continue to bless our country, our state, and our county as we try to do the business according to your will. Forgive us as always where we've let you down. For it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to call this October 23rd, 2023 special called meeting to order. First item, I need a motion to recess for the public hearing on Lake Marie Drive.
So moved.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Public hearing is open. Mr. Pagel, will you read the road reviewer's report, please?
Yes, sir. This is loud this morning. Good morning. So we had a report, Roy, Casey, and I went, I'll explain that to you here in a second. Is that good for you there? Thank you.
That's hot, maybe.
Okay. This is for the proposed addition of Lake Marie Drive into county maintenance. During the October 3rd, 2023 session of Fiscal Court, the court assigned Road Superintendent Roy Watkins, Deputy Judge Executive Andrew Pagel, and Building Inspection Director Casey Counts to review the road that Marie Faust petitioned to be added to county maintenance. Advertisements for the public hearing this morning were placed in the October 5th issue of the Tribune. On October 4th, the same date as review, notices for the hearing were also posted at the following locations: the Faust Sled Road, Lake Marie Drive intersection, Faust Sled US 68 West intersection, and the Alban Drive, Faust Sled Road intersections as required by statute. After careful observation of the petition roadway, the reviewers concluded that it was not recommended that the county take over the maintenance of Lake Marie Drive. And our findings are stated. The road, some bigger problems. The road is only 3 years old. Guidelines require 15 years. We saw no evidence of base asphalt, and 2.5 inches are required. It did not meet that requirement. There's not a dedicated right-of-way. No subdivision plat had been recorded. Those are some fundamental issues. There were some other shortcomings. Rippled surfaces between the first and second culverts, indicating a compromised base. Edges of the road were crumbling in various places, including the right side near the field. Some evidence of ponding on some bridge and roadway edges, particularly the first bridge. Some separation between the brick bridge and the concrete curb. A culvert would serve well at the Puckett property. Waters would likely now go over the driveway in the absence of the culvert. Some road banks did not appear to be stable and have adequate ground cover to prevent erosion. The pond and the dock are within the right-of-way. Many culverts are failing, showing rust, allowing a probe to poke through. So that was the negative. It's a really nice, beautiful neighborhood. There were a lot of areas where it did meet requirements. The driving surface is wide enough, at least 20 feet wide. The road was crowned and had an appropriate slope. The shoulders were properly sloped and at least 3 feet wide. Minus the pond and the dock, the relevant structures and obstacles were off the right-of-way. The cul-de-sac did have a radius of greater than 30 feet, and only one culvert was too short.
Is there anyone present to speak in favor of the court taking Lake Marie Drive into the county maintenance system? Okay, if you want to step up. Good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear? I guess. Actually, the road base was put in 2008 by Gerald Chambers and Jimmy Womack. And it stayed a red gravel road until 2019. Then Marty Barrett and Barry Barrett put the dense grade in. Then the pavement wasn't done until August of 2021. So the road is really older than I think what was indicated in the earlier. And since the our school buses have been traveling it for the past 2 years, so I felt like that maybe the maintenance department probably needed to be aware of that. So the bridges were built by Joe Chambers and Jimmy Womack, and I have pictures of those. And they're all of concrete base with rebar. And then as far as the asphalt, and I contacted my cousin. He is an engineer that designed the interchange at I-69 and 24, and got a little input in there about what to follow through on surfacing the road. So,
I think what they was talking about on the base is the asphalt base.
The base was put in 2008 when
No, the asphalt base.
the asphalt base.
Yeah, it's not thick enough. That's when Murray Paving put it down. That's,
I went by what the engineers
well, I know you did, yeah.
and also what the Murray Paving.
Mm-hmm,
It's supposed to be 2.5 inches.
yeah. I understand that. I just don't think it's there.
And also, let me add that, you're talking about the years the road there. I don't disagree that the gravel was there for 15
Yeah,
years. But the road requirements require that the asphalt be there for 15 years.
For 15,
Yes.
I wasn't told that.
I wouldn't, I mean, I don't, to me, I'm not an
mean-
engineer, so I don't know anything about roads, but I
I-
wouldn't pay too much attention to the years issue as the other issues that Roy might be able to explain to you.
When I did Almond Drive, it wasn't that old. It
Isn't there
was-
two kinds of applications?
Well, and remember, when you done Alvin Drive, how long ago has that been? Prior to 2021.
Oh, prior to 21?
They took it in before 2021, right?
Yes, 2000 and probably 7, I'm not sure.
These road requirements were, these that we have to go off now, was 2021 is when these come out. They changed the road requirements in 2021. Is what we have to go off of.
Well, but it was built before 2021.
The road that you're requesting to get in.
Yeah,
now.
it's,
The gravel was down before 2020.
well, that plus the, 21. I'd have to look, but I think it was August 2020 or 2021 that the asphalt was put down. Well, I think you have there Murray Paving, that date's on it. You got it? I'll have to copy of that. What's the date on that?
April 21st, 2020.
2020? Okay, that was when and they paved it in 2020 then.
When did you apply for the application to
Just here, when this petition was done, right?
I guess, is, when, what, if it went off the old specs, did it have to be done at a certain time? Prior to 21?
About the 15 years.
No, the specs, they changed in 21, correct? Okay.
2021, so that was.
But did they, if she went off the old specs, did it have to be done before 21?
Yeah, you would have had to, when that was put down and finished, come in at that point.
At that point?
I mean, really, the best thing to do, and we've talked about this, at least since I've been in the court, I know, and whenever we were discussing these changes, which honestly, I can't remember off the top of my head, but these were voted on and changed in December of 2021, obviously, but we discussed them for an extended period of time. I cannot remember how long, but we discussed it, went over it, put it off, and I'm guessing it was at least a 12-month period of time, because that's...
I would say it didn't pass till 2022.
Oh, no. I meant if it passed in December of 2021, we probably started talking about it sometime in 2020.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But regardless, we've talked about when you're putting this asphalt down and doing a new road, like it would have been considered in 2020 when you were doing it, is to get those specs, and then as soon as it is finished, get that petition in and ask for it to be done. And I mean, honestly, the best thing to do is to be able to use our engineers to be the ones out there at that time. I keep going back to, and I know y'all are probably tired of hearing this, but Opal Lane, and when I lived on Opal Lane, that is exactly what we did, and that's the last one probably that we took in like that, or not the last one, but that was what, 2012 or 13 or something like that. I can't remember, but we got those specs and then used the county road superintendent at that time to go out there along with Jim Smith, whoever did it back then, and pave it, and then immediately take it into the road system. And it's probably the last one we did or no, it's not. The other one we've done since then like that was out at Murray Riley's. Yeah, Commodore Lane, same thing. So
You have anything else? Good morning. I've got to ask this 3 times, so I'm going to let this be the second time. Is there anyone else in favor of speaking on taking Lake Marie Drive into the county maintenance system?
I'm Chris Lovett.
Hi, Chris.
My wife and kids and I reside at 252 Lake Marie Drive. We've been lifelong residents in Marshall County, paid taxes in Marshall County, still paying taxes in Marshall County. And I know this road was built in probably the old ordinance, and I know this new ordinance took effect after the road was built, and I think a lot of the new ordinance, I don't mean any disrespect to anybody on here, but it's pretty far-fetched. I know with the 15-year, to have a road in the system for 15 years before it gets entered into the county, I don't understand that.
I think,
I know
Chris,
you speak of Opal Lane.
I think there's two different, can't you do it as a new road too, instead of applying as an existing road?
There's two that you could bring that road into, a new
Yeah.
road resolution and an existing road resolution.
So can we fit it into one of the two?
Well, my understanding was the information was given to do it as a new road, and was told there was a deadline coming up after it got blacktopped, and the paperwork never got sent in. I understand. I am not against y'all getting the road took in, but it doesn't meet our specs. And if we do y'all's, we've got 10 people's gonna line up in here.
I'm
That's-
well aware
that's-
of that.
yeah.
And to speak of Opal Lane, the last time Opal Lane got put in, Opal Lane's got put right in the system right after.
Well, they applied that away. See, that's the difference. Y'all applied as an existing road instead of as a new road, but you missed the deadline. As soon as she got it done, she should have applied then.
Well, I
That's-
understand all that.
yeah.
But, I mean, for years, I know Marshall County has been nothing, one of the things that's bragged about. I know I've heard my granddad sat in y'all's seat, my great uncle over there, he sat in his seat. One of the things that they've always bragged about is Marshall County road system. I've heard Judge Spraggs, when he appointed Roy back into the road system, that he bragged about how we have one of the best road systems. And Lake Marie is nothing short of that. I mean, it's as good as our best secondary road and better than most of the secondary roads. I can name several roads that have all the problems that you just explained was wrong with ours. I mean, I don't think there's a road in the system that's going to be maintenance-free, and I think with the property taxes and all the money that she's sunk into the county and all the people that, I know we've got 3 or 4 home builds that's going to come in, and they're all using local vendors, local contractors. It's putting money back into the county, and I think with the amount of taxes that's going to be coming in from us over the course of the next years, I mean, all this stuff's mentioned is not like stuff that's going to have to be done tomorrow or next year or 10 or 15 years from now. I mean, it's a pretty good road. I mean, I meet Marty in his triaxle dump truck coming up and down it, and I don't have to white knuckle and find a ditch to get off the road or anything else. I just throw my hand up and keep on going. And a lot of these roads I can't do that in. And I know we pay for a lot of equipment. I think we just paid for a $400,000 grado back the first of the year. And we help buy that stuff. So we're just asking for a small piece of the cake that we help bake, more or less. I mean, we've got dump trucks. We help pay for all that. And I think we deserve it just as much as the people across the street from us, the people that's got places on the lake that's only here 3 weeks out of the year and don't pay any taxes except property taxes. So I think we deserve the use of the equipment just like everybody else does. So, thank you.
Thank you.
I was not aware that there was a deadline on new or existing roads.
Well, I was told
And I
that,
talked with the road department prior to having it serviced, and I just wasn't aware.
well, Roy told us he did tell you that.
If you remember, I was out there the day they
Yeah.
was paving it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I explained to you then that, and I'm the one that handed you the road resolution that day.
But
And I'm pretty sure I explained that you need to hurry up and get it brought in because all this was gonna change. And now here we are 2 years later.
All right, before you speak, let him read that
Yeah,
one more
is
time,
there-
now to get that third reading in. No, you just go ahead.
You're okay. Is there anyone present to speak in favor of the court taking Lake Marie Drive into the county maintenance system? Yes, sir.
Come on up, Bob.
Okay, I tried to buy from Marie since about 2007 or 8, and she never would sell because she was trying to keep it just simple. And we finally got to buy a piece of property from her, and the reason that we bought that was because it's such a good, nice little area right there. The community's close to everything, and she was going to pave it and turn it into a county road, is what the intention was when we bought our property. We bought, I think, in 2000, was it 19? Yeah, in 2019, and we built back there. We haven't built everything we're going to do yet, but with the bus coming up there, and Chris basically summarized a lot of stuff I was going to say. I feel the quality of the road is pretty good. I know there's some faults and everything's not going to be good. If you look around the corner on Foul Sled Road, they're letting the trees grow up there and the roots are killing that road and it's rippling all over the place. And I wish they'd fix that.
That's in the works this year, this winter. All them trees are
Yeah,
gonna be
that's gonna
gone.
happen.
That's awesome.
Yep, that's in the works.
That's a pain there. But anyway, I'm just speaking for, I'd love to get it brought into the county system here, and so we have maintenance of the road and everything, especially for when the school bus comes down there and turns around right in front of my house.
The problem is, Murray Paving won't stand behind what they said's there. They don't want us core drilling because they probably didn't put what they charged her for.
That's a sad thing about some of these
So-
businesses these days.
And if we take it in, then everybody in the whole county is gonna have to pay to repair what wasn't our specs. Guys, I'm not against y'all getting a county road, but
That's the good thing about it.
But the county, we can't just, I mean, we would go broke trying to take all the roads in that people want in that are not up to specs.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I got nothing at all against you,
Is there anything
Chris,
we can do to go
or
back
Bob,
against-
Marie, none of y'all.
Can we not, the county go back after Murray Paving?
I don't know.
Okay.
But that would be, Marie's the one that needs to do that. If it doesn't meet what,
Aren't they not liable for their specs if they're gonna,
Roy give her the specs, she give them to Murray Paving.
right, that's what I'm saying.
All right, then if they didn't do that, she needs to go after them if it wasn't what it was supposed to be. If it's not what it's supposed to be there. And then, but then the problem is, she was told there was a deadline looming very quickly. And they ignored that to be a new road. So that's the big issues. We can't show y'all favoritism and then turn around and the guys at the end of the last term, then here in December and November of last year, them guys, they was promised something by years ago that was not right. They was told wrong. And we didn't take them in and spend the money up there either.
I think comparing Crooked Oak Loop to our road is like comparing apples to oranges, though. I mean,
It's not the road. It's the way you're supposed to go about it. But I mean,
can we go in as an existing road then?
well, there's a process for that. The 15 years.
This is the existing road.
Yeah, that is an existing road application.
This
Yeah. See, y'all done existing road instead of a new
This one
road.
is the existing.
That which,
Can we reapply it as a new?
well, it's got to have the specs changed.
If it's
21, they changed, didn't they?
Yes, and you can take it in as a new road, but there's gonna have to be some work done to that road.
To bring it up
meet
to the
them
specs. Yeah.
Like the culverts underneath the bridges, all them is rusted
I
out.
think of,
Like he
get
said, the
Crooked Oak
culverts.
Loop is not, but Gavin Lane. You know where Gavin is, over there on Sharp? It's that same thing. If he would have put that in, 15 years ago, or asked to put that in, because we have those folks have contacted us quite a bit over there.
Shay,
Chasey and Gavin Lane,
I guess it's just hard for me to see all the secondary roads.
Well-
That doesn't meet the ordinance that y'all.
Well,
And Chris, again, like we talked about with and this was a while back, but, I mean, yes, do we have roads in our road system that don't fit this? Absolutely. But they were taken in, 20, 30, 40 years ago, and now we just have to, we can't, saying this is for new stuff that we're taking in, yeah, it doesn't fit some of the roads that we have in the system, for sure. And that was the argument, I think, the same argument that was made by the folks from Crooked Oak Loop were, okay, it may not be this, but it's better than this. And I don't necessarily disagree with that, but we can't right all those wrongs. Or
Stand back up there.
Gerald Chambers is the one that helped design it, and he builds roads throughout the state.
He doesn't
And he's
engineer
talking
them.
about the bridges and the culverts. That's all concrete underneath.
Oh, there's metal culverts that are rusted out.
Yeah, but the base is concrete with rebar. So my question is that there's a deadline on that, the new, can we go in as existing?
Not for 15 years, as existing. Is that right?
That's what's in.
The best way to solve this looks like is to find out what improvements you gotta do to make it, and then come in petition as a new road, and then we can do that. When those repairs, or whatever he says, the ordinance says, I don't know what the ordinance says, I need to read it, I guess, but that's his job, not mine. My job is to be accountable for every Marshall County's tax dollars. I have to treat everybody the same, whether I like them or not. And I like y'all. I'm not against y'all getting a county road, but I have to do it. We have to do it as a court, the same for everybody. We can't make exceptions, or we would be making exceptions every day. It has nothing to do with that. It's just, we've got to go by these specs. So if y'all, that's the way I see it, y'all gonna have to go get these specs for a new road, make the corrections he said that needs to be done, and come back as a new road, and then we can vote y'all in.
So can y'all send somebody out to tell us exactly?
Yes, we have a road superintendent that, absolutely.
That's exactly what we did on Concord.
Commodore.
I went out and met Murray
Sharp.
Riley, and he had to put all new driveway culverts in. He had to put, I think, 2 or 3 culverts underneath the road. There were some places that was, we call it alligator cracking in the blacktop, that was bad. He went in, cut all them spots out, put new base blacktop down. It took him a lot of money, but he got it up to county specs.
You know what we're talking about? You know the one I'm talking about, Commodore.
And I'm just like Marty said a while ago, I'm not against at all y'all getting this road in. But I have to go by these specs that the fiscal court voted on for me to go by.
Does any of you all have any other comments? Thank you. Is there anyone present to speak in opposition of the court taking Lake Marie Drive into the county maintenance system? Is there anyone present to speak in opposition of the court taking Lake Marie Drive into the county maintenance system? Is there anyone present to speak in opposition of the court taking Lake Marie Drive into the county maintenance system? If not, we'll close the public hearing. I'll get it down here in a minute. Close the public hearing. I'll call the court back to order. And we will, I have a motion to recess for the public hearing on BM Blankenship.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll open the public hearing. Mr. Pagel will read the road reviewer's report.
Okay. This is for the proposed partial closing of BM Blankenship Lane. During the October 3rd, 2023 session of Fiscal Court, Aaron Wade McGlone petitioned the court for the discontinuance of maintenance of 104 feet of BM Blankenship Lane. Advertisement for public hearing was placed in the October 23rd, 2023 issue of the Tribune. Notice for the hearing was also posted at the following locations: at the proposed end of BM Blankenship Lane, the intersection of BM Blankenship, Paul Anderson, and Paul Anderson Road, Olive Creek intersection, as required by KRS. County Road Supervisor Roy Watkins and appointed road reviewers were Andrew Pagel and Casey Counts. They all reviewed the road. The following observations were made by the viewers. The section being petitioned for discontinuance is the last 104 feet of paved portion of the roadway. This paved portion dead ends at the approximate elevation of 381 feet, which is the TVA easement line. The old roadway, formerly known as Maple Springs School, Johnson School Road, continues on to the lake. This unpaved portion of the roadway was abandoned by the county on July 9th, 1940, in an agreement with TVA upon the creation of Kentucky Lake, which rendered the old roadway impassable. Currently, the portion of BM Blankenship Lane in question provides access to one property owned by the petitioner. The adjacent property does not have direct access to the portion of the road in question, and therefore will not serve as a benefit or disadvantage if the roadway is removed from county maintenance. It was expressed to the viewers that while on site, that the neighboring residents use the old roadway for access to the TVA property around the lake that falls below the 375 elevation. Based on the information presented and from the above research, our conclusion is that a public need is no longer served by continued county maintenance of this portion of BM Blankenship Lane.
Is there anyone present to speak in favor of the court taking a portion of BM Blankenship Lane out of the county maintenance system? Yes, sir.
I guess I have the exact opposite problem that they have. I'm Aaron Wade McGlone. Basically, I bought the property. I want to build a house on it. Where the road comes in, I have no problem leaving access for a school bus or a snowplow, all that. We actually talked to Mr. Watkins' office, and he suggested that. I have no problem with that. I would just really appreciate if that could be closed down, portion be closed down, so I can build a house on it. And that's basically the only thing I was want to say.
Thank you. Is there anyone present in favor of the court taking a portion of BM Blankenship Lane out of the county maintenance system? Is there anyone present in favor of the court taking a portion of BM Blankenship Lane out of the county maintenance system? Is there anyone present to speak in opposition of the court taking a portion of BM Blankenship Lane out of the county maintenance system? Is there anyone present to speak in opposition of the court taking a portion of BM Blankenship Lane out of the county maintenance system? Is there anyone present to speak in opposition of the court taking a portion of B.M. Blankenship Lane out of the county maintenance system? If not, I will close the public hearing, call the meeting back to order. That's it for the
I'll make
hearings.
a quick recess.
Yes, motion for a recess or a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we'll call this meeting back to order. Chad McCann, Rivercrest Engineering. Gonna give us an update.
Good morning.
Morning.
I just wanted to take an opportunity, it's been a few months since I've been over here, give everybody an update on the water project out in Oak Level area, and give an opportunity if anybody has any questions, go ahead and ask, and kind of tell you what the path looks like moving forward on the project. Right now, the guys started down there near the tank, A-Rent Road and J.B. Copeland Road, and they've worked on those corridors right there. As of last week, they got the line tied in right there at Simpsonia Highway and J.B. Copeland Road. So as of now, we've got an effective loop system that we were shooting for to help that water circulate through that area. So if anything happens on Simpsonia Highway or vice versa on Oak Level, they've got a redundant source to get water into that tank. The tank is online right now, so as customers tie on, they'll be pulling water out of the water tank. So that is in service as of last week, and contractors working on A-Rent Road north of J.B. Copeland right now, and then they're going to leave from there, work over on Elva Road after that, kind of continue on through the process. But everything's going well, benefited from a lot of good dry weather, so it's making for very good construction of the water main. Everybody seems to be pretty pleased. We've talked to some of the property owners along the way. No big complaints. Everybody seems to be pretty happy. Contractors doing a good job being attentive to people's needs, trying to get everything compacted back best they can, get things cleaned up before these fall rains, and hopefully we get some seed and everything germinating, get some things restored before we get into winter.
Very good. It's exciting to know we have water in the tower finally.
That's right.
Water to the house.
Water's in there. So, and again, I mentioned this before, but if anybody in that area is wanting to tie on, they'll need to go to City of Benton and just apply for a tap out there, and they'll get them hooked on through the process. And it's always a good time to get out there while the contractor's there. Probably get a better rate because they're already there and they got all their equipment on site. So it's a good time to do that as well. And PB Cloud, I know the county kind of tied to that through the ARPA funds. Met with the contractor, had a pre-construction meeting last week. They plan to start on that project a week from today. So that project will be underway here, 3-month contract. So probably next January, February timeline, that project should hopefully be done. Soon we'll get some good weather there. And we'll have that
Is that
project going.
including the Holly Hills or that, whatever that?
The
road
Mulberry
there?
section through there?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's all.
Mhm. Yep.
Awesome.
Anybody else have any questions on the job?
I think so. Everything's looking great. I've driven by there frequently, and
All right.
Yep.
Good deal. I'll let the contractor know.
thank you.
Keep status quo. Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thanks. You too.
Next up, Brian Cutzinger, EMS Director, radio quotes and bid advertisement for ambulance remount.
All right, thank you. So the original bid opening for the Homeland Security Grant for the radios was October 3rd. Prior to that meeting, I'd spoken with Corey and that there were no bids submitted for the original bid opening. I was actually in contact with a vendor before that, and I think there was a misunderstanding about when the bid submission was supposed to be in. So they did submit one, but it was a few days late. I do have that one currently here. And then I also, in the meantime, went ahead and got another quote from another vendor to kind of compare the costs of them. The first quote I got was from the one that was originally submitted was from Jennings Communications out of Murray. Their quote and bid and everything met all the specifications. The total cost of their quote was $78,284. I reached out to Mobile Communications of America. They're the Motorola vendor. Went through, submitted all the specifications to them, and received a quote from them. The total cost of their quote was $139,425.26. So there's a pretty substantial cost difference between the two. Based upon everything I've looked at, talking with people that use both brands and the different kinds of radios, it would be my recommendation to go with the Jennings Communications out of Murray. Also, too, that grant amount actually falls below, or this quote amount falls below the amount awarded through the grant, so it'll be covered 100% by the grant.
Same radios?
Do what?
Same radios?
Yeah, same capability, just different brands.
Different brands,
Yeah.
off brand.
Good to
Jen-
know that
Jennings
that's
offers-
your recommendation.
Yeah,
I was getting a little nervous there for a
Yeah,
minute.
the Jennings out of Murray, they operate with the Kenwood radios, and then the Mobile Communications of America does the Motorola.
are you all gonna have any needs for repeaters and ambulances or anything
No.
like that moving forward
No.
at all?
As far as like mobile repeaters in the ambulances,
Yeah, that's kind of the plan going with the SO, is they're gonna be repeaters in vehicles to help the mobiles talk to the portables talk to the mobiles that then talk to the
right.
tower.
And I think that with our communications, I mean, it's not to say we don't have near the issues they do, but I mean, we do have some in the same areas. But as of now, we've not had any discussions about placing repeaters in ambulances.
Okay.
Likelihood of you guys using portables a lot less.
Yeah, we use our handhelds a whole lot less than these guys do. Most of our
Sure.
communication is done through the mobile radios in the trucks and not the actual handhelds.
I'd move to accept the Jennings quote for $78,284.
Second.
Any discussion? You said that was below the grant amount was
Yeah,
grant?
I believe the grant amount was 79.4.
That's what I was
I believe
thinking.
is the total
Okay.
cost.
All right, great. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you on that. We need a motion for Mr. Cutzinger to advertise for bids for ambulance remount.
Remount, correct.
Is there anything
Yeah,
you
this-
want us to say on that before?
Well, this
we-
is just something we do annually. Our trucks, we have 6 ambulances, so that puts, as we do one every year, that puts each ambulance in service for 6 years. And usually at the end of 6 years, they're pretty well needing replacement. And the route we go, for some that may not know, is we do what they call a remount, which is not a new build. They take the existing box, take it off, strip all the paint, check all the wiring, check the oxygen systems and stuff on them, and then repaint them, restripe them, and put them on a new chassis. So it's basically a like new ambulance, but it's substantially cheaper than a new build. The remount that we had last year was $134,000. So I'm expecting it to probably be, with inflation and everything, probably be a little bit more than that this year. But it is something that we do budget for every year to replace an ambulance.
Okay. Need a motion to advertise for bids for ambulance remount.
So moved.
Second? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
All right,
Thank you, sir. Next up, we have the Marshall County golf team. Mr. Pagel, you got something you want to say about that before they come up?
Sure. Congratulations to the 2023 boys golf team for winning the region, moving on to state. We invited them here, Coach Morris, and he's got some things to say about his team, brag about his team, but it is hard to get to the state tournament. It's hours and hours of hard work, and we're happy that it paid off, and the court here is proud of you. So, Coach, would you mind coming up and telling us what's going on?
Yes, sir. First of all, thank you all for inviting us. It's an honor to be here. So, when I talked to the boys about coming, they didn't really know what to expect here. So I just,
We don't either.
anyway.
They're supposed to wear ties.
Yeah,
Didn't you tell them?
they told us they underdress some
Yeah,
stuff too. But
that's all right.
I'd like to introduce who I have here right now, and then I have three other guys that didn't show up. So first of all, my only senior, my son, DJ Morris. So stand up, please.
Stand up.
Sophomore Ryan Stokes. Freshman Paxton Carter. Sophomore Nolan Hurst. Junior Andy Jones. And sophomore Andrew Kimbrough. These are the guys that are here. Except for Kimbrough, these were my top 5 pretty much throughout the year. So round of applause for them. They had a great time.
Oh, you got somebody still sitting down back there.
Who did I miss? Oh, I'm sorry, Cooper Green. He's a junior. I'm sorry, Cooper. I hate to leave him out. So anyway, just proud of these guys. They had a great year. I mean, it was truly, we lost 3 out of 5 seniors, and when you lose that much out of a golf team, you really don't, expectations are, you really don't know. So I was proud of the way that we handled ourselves throughout the year. So thank you, guys. Y'all can have a seat. We had, I think we ended up with 19 different events that we played in. That's counting the postseason, which is the regional, the sub-state, and then the state. So they've added another level of postseason, which makes it even more difficult for our team to get there. But somehow we made it. We did it. It's proud of these guys. Out of the 16 individual tournaments we played in, there's a lot of travel involved. I saw this guy got some money, so if y'all want to send up some more, anyway, we had a great year. Like I say, we traveled. A lot of the tournaments are not around this area, so we have to go into Owensboro and Bowling Green and Lexington and that kind of area to play in these tournaments. So it happens. I mean, that's we enjoy it. The boys enjoy traveling. I mean, we have a great time. So we do spend a lot of money. So it's different than what it used to be. If any of y'all ever played golf or on the golf teams, it's completely different than what it used to be. So there's a lot of travel, not a lot of 9-hole matches, but a lot of 18-hole tournaments and things like that. So, but that's how you basically get points for All-State, which we did qualify for this year in Lexington. Got to play 2 days at the UK club, and it was a great experience for these guys. So anyway, we had a successful year. I was very proud of them. I appreciate you all having us here. So if you have any questions or comments.
Is the guy with the cap on back there your
He doesn't
assistant?
count.
Yeah, he's hiding.
All right, just making.
Coach was also Coach of the Year of the region.
Oh, there
Oh,
we go.
that's
He
awesome.
didn't mention that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't need to mention.
And you're assistant coach of the. No, not even that. All right, just checking.
He's just
Jeff.
an angry dad.
Yeah. I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, so that's the toughest thing to do as a parent, I promise you. It's hard to do. Golf is, you try to stay away from them, and they actually tell you to stay away from them. So the officials will actually stroke your team and all that if you talk to it. So it's a different level. But anyway, Jeff had a hard time. He had to walk away a little bit sometimes. Again, thank you all. I appreciate you all having us here. It means a lot to us. It means a lot to me.
You all have represented Marshall County very well. We're so proud of you. We would like to get a photo before you leave. I don't know if any of the other three have anything else to add.
I just need to know who's got the best short game, and I need them to stay after.
Me. You can ask me. But thank you. We'd love to take a photo, and wherever y'all need us, that'd be great. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay, under old business, need a motion to approve the minutes for October 2nd, 6th, and 13th special called meeting, and October 3rd meeting.
So moved.
Second? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item, Mike Miller Park Grounds, Veterans Plaza. I think Brittany, the park director, wants to speak on that first, and we'll go from there.
Okay, so I know they are wanting to add new flags and new aspects to the Veterans Plaza to incorporate the Space Force that has recently been recognized as an official branch of the military. So when I looked at the way the flags were laid out, this was the best solution that we could come up with that would not involve moving other flagpoles. Would be to just move the one that you'll see in the center there that's actually there, not the fake flags, but that one could be moved over to the side a little bit, and then the new Space Force flag could be mounted right there to the side. So that would still keep things equitably split. We wouldn't have to dig up and relocate all of the other existing poles to still make that work. And then that still leaves that open space in the front for people to see in as they drive by without having a pole there in the center blocking that view. Nope, that was the only one. I could have gotten for all angles. I should have really gone all out for you guys. But that was my suggestion on the flag placement.
There's some other things they're wanting to do too.
So I'm kind of getting, I don't know if there's somebody else that wants to present this. I'm kind of getting it all second, third
Well,
hand.
if y'all look at the picture, see that orange bench where the existing flag is now? On the backside there? Yes, that bench right there. We was discussing that would be a great place to put like just a 2-foot elevated 10 by 12, 10 by 16 stage, permanent stage. We could build out of blocks and pour concrete and maybe eventually put a roof over it with a permanent, like a stone pedestal.
Sure.
Instead of bringing the trailer in and putting on this other side, and because there's a shortage of place for people to stand when we do that. So if we had it on the back side, I think that would be I think it would help. And they talked about also the 5 statues on the left back there. They gotta add a 6th one of them, don't they?
So I have gotten very limited information, and it's not been directly from them. So I've been getting this passed to me from different people. My understanding is that they wanted to put a stage in there. They wanted to add an additional statue, and then I believe that whole center statue that's in the middle of the brick would also have to be completely redone.
They talked about wrapping a metal around it, and adding a 6th one, but I don't know why they couldn't put something right on top for the Space Force. It's in the air anyway.
Sure, yeah.
Put some kind of globe up there with the Space Force. I don't know.
So as far as, we'll start with kind of one thing at a time and we'll piece this apart. But the stage, my biggest concern with doing a permanent stage right there is if you will look back behind those yellow flags, what you see behind that is our maintenance parking lot. So that is constantly going to be full of equipment, odds and end pieces that things are being worked on, different trucks, tractors, semi-trailer type things that are used for storage. So from a marketing and an aesthetic standpoint, I am not in favor of putting a stage there just because every video shot that the news gets or pictures that people are taking of that, that's going to be the background, which doesn't look great.
Broke down tractor sitting there.
Right, yeah, exactly.
We are Kentucky, so.
Right, yeah. So that would be my biggest concern. Also, and I looked at maybe doing it in other places, but if you put the stage in the front part, that really blocks the view of it as people are driving through. And, we do have, it is used for things other than the ceremonies, but for the most part, just being the fact that you've got that maintenance parking lot, back behind, and all of the pictures is not going to be ideal.
Probably be a while before we could get some screen trees or something planted that would kind of hide that, wouldn't it?
Right, yeah, that would be a whole other beast in and of itself. Now, my staff is perfectly happy to continue to set up the stage like they do, to bring out the chairs, to bring out all of that equipment for them. They're happy to continue to do that, so that's not an issue at all. But that would be my biggest opposition to doing a permanent stage. It's just
if I could find a downgraded stage a little bit besides that big trailer, get it right over Roy's hair.
Yeah, and then I will say, that big trailer is a beast.
Yeah,
it is a beast.
We'd get something smaller that would fit in there better and it wouldn't take up so much.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I don't know what other specific parts of this we're addressing or how far we're going. I don't know what exactly they're seeking approval for specifically on this grounds policy, on what's being visited here. But those are the two things that I know of for sure. I don't know how much we want to go into or what all exactly needs to be discussed or addressed or voted on. But if anybody else wants to lead it, we can absolutely have the conversation.
Well, as far as you're concerned, really these 2 flags are the only thing that needs to be done right now?
Again, I'm getting this kind of third hand because I haven't spoken to them directly.
That's correct. And I spoke to Brittany too. I didn't know where this would go, but about having the money in her budget to, obviously, we're going to have to purchase another flagpole and the flag for the Space Force. So budget will allow that. So if we wanted to vote to move, I think the one on the left would be moved, correct?
Yes.
And the one on the right that we're looking at would be the one added for the Space Force. So we'll have to pay to have actually 2 of them set, because one's going to have to be removed and reset. So.
And then discuss the 2 statue issues within next year's budget?
That would be my preference. If that is not
Okay.
something that the
I think
veterans are
that's-
going to pay for, if they're wanting us to pay for it, then my thought would be this can't take precedence over all the other things that need to be done in the park. So those requests would just need to be submitted to me. If they have estimates on what they're wanting to do, they could submit those to me, and then as we start budget preparations for next year, then those projects could be weighted against the other projects that I'm going to submit for the rest of the park to be prioritized accordingly.
And Commissioner Barrett, you may have a great idea on that center monument, if
I
something
think
could
you
be attached to
You
the
could
top.
put something there
yeah.
like a globe and attach it on the stand, because that would be the simplest thing I see, because you don't have to buy a whole new statue.
Because you'd already be buying an additional statue for the back
Yeah,
portion.
for that back anyway,
Yeah.
so I think put a globe up there with just Space Force around it.
Yeah.
Is that a motion?
Well, I think, yeah. I think, whether he needs to reach out to Brittany or
Yeah.
Brittany reach out to
I
him,
forget, what
they
is the
need.
gentleman's name?
I'm not even sure who is, like I said,
I forget who it was that come up here and talked to us about it, and I went out there and talked to him.
David Green.
David,
David,
Yeah.
yes.
yeah. So
Like
I
we
would
can-
say,
We can get with him and see,
yeah.
he just, needs to reach
see
out.
how much
to-
they're wanting us to do and how much they was gonna try to do. I don't know if they
And
got
my
much
suggestion
funding.
would be for them to reach out to me and set up
Yes.
a time to meet, and they can show me if they want to come in with estimates of what they're wanting to do and
Mm-hmm.
give me some ideas. If they are wanting to fundraise and pay for these additions
Yeah.
themselves, then I don't necessarily think that would be, we could probably come
Mhm.
back and just do a grounds policy vote. If
Yeah.
they are wanting the court to fund all of these upgrades, then just submitting those requests
Mhm.
to me, and then we could prioritize that to see if it's something that we can do
Yeah.
on next year's budget.
Okay, all right. I'll try to reach out to him
Yeah.
this week and
Yeah.
talk to him and see
Sure,
what we
yeah,
discussed.
just tell them to holler at me, and
Yeah.
we can set up a time to meet and kind of go over all
Okay.
of those things. Sure.
Thank you. Okay, with that said, I'll make a motion to move the flag on the left. Which branch is that? Do you know right off?
I'm not sure.
In
Just
the
that
middle?
center pole.
Yes, the one that's currently on the left, move it over, set a new pole and flag on the right-hand side of that. The pole and flag will be paid for out of the park budget.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Brittany.
Do we need a separate motion on the stage? Or no?
No.
Not at this time.
Just doing
No,
the polls?
Thank you.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Thank you. Under new business, board appointment for the library, the appointment would be Jenna Denfip to the library board to fill the expiring term of Paul Thurman, term to expire 12/1/2027.
So move.
Second.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Parade, last year, our Parks Department and our Road Department participated in the Christmas parade, and I think that got pretty competitive from what I heard. Yeah, no, maybe, yeah. You won. I think he's just saying that because he's in front of the microphone, Brittany. Anyway, I was, as Commissioner at the time, excited. They wanted to do that and represent the county, and there are so many people that never see the staff at the Road Department or Parks Department. So for them to get out in the public eye, I think is a great thing. With that said, need a motion to approve the Road and Parks Department participation in the Benton Christmas Parade.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion?
Is the sheriff's
Third.
department gonna get in it too? now?
Sheriff's Department getting in there?
We probably will be out patrolling.
You can jump in right now. We can amend the motion.
No,
Yeah.
we can skip.
You can pull one of them over and pull them both over, and then
We
you'd
commandeer
win.
their flag.
Yeah, and then you'd win.
I'm sure they'd
Seize
be
one of them
welcome.
for evidence. See, there you
Sure
go.
they'd be welcome to Calvert as well.
Feel as
if we'll be
Yeah.
working the parade rather than.
Absolutely. You want to amend that?
No. Well, if they'd like to, I'm sure.
Okay, motion
Have to look
second.
at the
All those in
dates.
favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Better get to work on those floats.
I bet Roy don't know what Pinterest is.
Does anyone know the date already?
I think it's in December.
Yeah, it is in December.
Second Saturday.
Second Saturday.
Around the 14th, maybe.
Okay. New hire.
Okay, we have 3 new hires to announce at 911, one at a time, though. Jason Brown, $13.87 an hour, effective 10/24/23.
Need a motion to approve the full-time new hire, Jason Brown.
So moved.
Is there a second? Motion second, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. Full-time new hire, Katie Lindsay at $13.87 an hour, effective 10/24/23.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion second, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Full-time, Kimberly Henson, $13.87 an hour, effective 10/24/23.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up, Sheriff Hilbrecht's going to speak to us. We had spoke a while back about firearms, and he's going to share some information with us.
Well, first off, good morning. It's almost be afternoon here. This has been one of our longer ones, guys.
So
I'll
hurry
talk
up.
to-
So hurry-
Yeah,
speed it up a
I
little
could probably
bit.
talk all day about pistols, but let me just start and say, the Sheriff's Department's in need of new pistols, and let me explain why. The FBI makes recommendations for equipment for law enforcement. They recommend that you change your pistols every 10 years. And I know when most people hear that, they probably think like I do. I've got a pistol I've had since I was 13, nothing wrong with it, but it also sits in a gun safe all day. Our firearms, if you think about it, are in and out of the weather all season, all year. They're used at the range very frequently, so they get a lot of wear and tear. And we've noticed at the last few ranges we've had several that are having problems with springs. You can replace springs, certainly, but we're having multiple problems with multiple weapons. And that's a problem, obviously. We've got another one that when you shoot it dry, they're supposed to lock to the rear. Well, it doesn't. It locks forward. So it's becoming an issue. These guns were purchased under buyers in 2010, so they're definitely overdue to be replaced. So I'd like to get those changed out, and we'd like to transition to a 9mm. The FBI recommends that we go with the 9mm. It's because, number one, they can hold a higher capacity in the magazine, so you get a few more rounds in your magazine. But the ballistics on 9mm have changed the way they manufacture those now. They say it's just as effective as the 40s, which we now carry. A good example of that is, we used multiple shots in Jody's incident. He was shot with a 9mm and obviously killed with one shot. So the ballistics are certainly there on 9mm. We'd like to transition to that also because it's a little bit cheaper to buy 9mm rounds when you go to the range to practice every year. We'd save a little money on ammunition costs, not drastic, but a little bit of money. So that's what I'd like to do there. The other aspect of those, they also recommend going to an optic on these guns. You think of a lot of rifles have optics on it, sights on it. We're looking at what's called a Trujicon optic on it. The reason for that is it just gives you a lot quicker up on target, being able to have an accurate sight picture, being able to have accurate shot placement. So it's a lot more effective when the guys have those on their weapons. Benton City Police Department, Calvert City Police Department have all already transitioned to 9mm and to those optics. Also, McCracken carries those, Callaway County carries those. So we're kind of lagging behind what most agencies are doing throughout the nation when it comes to firearms. And I can just say from experience, myself, I've been in the Sheriff's Department a little over 24 years, and I'm on my second pistol since I've been there. So we're definitely due some. I'd like to transition to those and go to those sites as well. Like everything, when you change one thing, it leads to a change in something else. Those sites then would require new holsters to actually be able to holster those. They now make a holster that's interchangeable where you can swap it from one belt to a different belt. they'll have to buy multiple holsters for different uniforms. At any rate, so I contacted Keesler's about that, trying to just kind of get a basic idea, what would this cost us to transition? The pistols themselves, if we went with 47, we currently have 44 pistols. I'd like to go with 47. The reason being is when you're involved in a shooting, whoever the investigating agency is, they collect your pistol. They hold that for evidence, and usually it's for an extended period of time, 6 months to a year, before we'd have those back. So it'd be nice to have a few extras on hand in case we ever get into that situation. Also, if the agency grows, where we add more deputies than we already have some. So we'd like to look at purchasing 47. We'd like to go to a Glock. It's called a 17 model. Those run $481 a piece, which would be like $22,607. To get the sights, they're almost as expensive as the pistols. They're $453.10 a piece, which brings us to $21,295.70. To mount those sights is $648.60. The holsters, to get 47 holsters, would be $9,799.50. Brings us to a grand total and this is just Keesler's, and it's just an estimate, $54,350.80. They will allow a trade-in on our current pistols, so we can trade those in. They'll allot us $305 a piece on those 44, which would bring us to $13,420 deduction. So the total estimate on this would be $40,930.80. Basically $41,000. We could transition everyone in the department. That is going to include our SROs, our court security, our deputies, our detectives, just everyone through the entire department. Then we'd all have the similar operating systems. One of the benefits of that is, like I said, Benton and Calvert already carry those. Sometimes you think if you're in a terrible shooting situation, you might need an extra magazine. Currently, ours are not interchangeable with what they're carrying, so that would help us have that interoperability between agencies.
Now, those slides are already cut for the sights, aren't they?
Yes, they are. It's a MOS, the Glock 17 MOS, which makes them just a hair bit more expensive, but yes, they would mount straight.
Well, that's cheaper in the long run.
It is, right. Than actually buying the bracket, that would have to go on there.
Yeah, a lot more. Right, it's a little more low profile and it fits better and everything.
I'd like to say something briefly on this before we go any further. Obviously, the sheriff can, nothing we can do to prohibit him from getting proposal on anything or RFP. I wanted to hopefully let him know we're supportive of this, and we would request a motion that he put out an RFP for the firearms and holsters and sights only, and then an RFP for a complete trade, as he had referred to.
Yeah, because sometimes the officers want to buy their own weapon, don't they?
And they do.
They'll
In
give them that
Keesler's,
option.
When we did this in 2010, we had H&Ks then, and they allowed each officer that wanted to purchase their own, purchase it, and then obviously that money went to offset. And they were good about that, and they'll do that.
What are y'all carrying now?
We have a Glock 35. that are-
So do I have a motion for Sheriff Hilbrecht to put out an RFP for the firearms, holsters, sights only, and then the same RFP that would include trade-in of their existing firearms?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
So did we, I can't remember if we budgeted for that, or are we, do we
It
have?
is not in his budget.
Okay. What are we gonna, do you have a proposal?
We do have a little bit of excess carryover in the sheriff's fund as well as the general fund, and occupational tax fund. So if those are some options, as well as, investment money that we have for investment, if that was a place you wanted to take that from.
Yeah,
We
we
would
tried
need
to
to do a
do
budget
this.
amendment for those, if we wanted to do the excess carryover. So just keep that in mind. I'd need some time for that.
Yeah, these are way overdue. I requested them in 2021 whenever we had the CARES funding, and of course, we know with the current administration or the previous administration where that went. So safety is number one priority. You can't afford these guns to not go off.
No, when you pull that trigger, it needs to go
And the
back.
recoil, that prevents an emergency reload in a situation like that. And when you have that muscle memory, it throws you off enough to get you killed. So we need to do this ASAP. Like I say, we're about 2 years behind on it, so.
There's some things I think we can put off as a court, but providing the sheriff's department the tools they need is not one of them, in my opinion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. You can get to work, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, road petition, new form. Think you all were provided that? Everybody have that?
I seen it.
You added the section on there just to ensure that we have, let's see, the length and width of the road and the asphalt base, right? That was already on there?
I added the number 2, length in feet of said portion be discontinued. Number 3, length in feet of said road to remain under county maintenance. 4, describe the necessity for the advantage of the petition to action. 5, name of the nearest intersection.
Is that what you suggested be taken out or be added?
Added.
Okay, I don't think we have. I think we must have the old one.
All I got's a picture of the old one, I guess.
Is that right? The application for existing road addition?
No, this was the discontinuous. This is the one we want. You changed both of them, right? Just the discontinuous.
Oh, we have it's existing.
Send it around so that I know what I'm. So the application for the existing road addition is the same. We're not asking that it be changed.
Just this discontinuance.
Just the form.
County road.
We're not changing any regulations, just the form.
Yes.
Correct. No change in regulation.
Yeah.
And this is, all stems back to the being Blankenship. We really didn't have enough information, and they had to go back and redo it. So we've added some of this on here now.
So you got more information.
Yeah, they have to fill out more information to give us.
Okay.
There it is.
It's the one you just used too already, right?
Then on, I think the second page, you'll notice there's some circles you can, check, approve or disagree. We added that.
Yeah.
It's just so you can get more information on the application. It doesn't change the regulations. Motion?
Move we, no.
Need a motion to approve the new road application form.
Yeah, so moved.
Second.
Second, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up, we have sanitation personnel and bills. As far as the bills go, I'll go ahead and speak to that. There's an outstanding bill to Mertco for repairs that were done at the Aurora plant. Long overdue on that. The total on that is $23,312.59. Excuse me. And they're also having some shelters constructed for the drips that they have recently added to that to take care of some of our compliance issues. Anticipate that being under $5,000. So with that said, I'd like to include both of those in the motion. I'll just go ahead and make the motion on this.
Are you saying these two plus, right? Because these are in two different bills?
Well, I've got the total on the two bills from Mertco being
That was those.
$23,312.59.
Okay.
Yeah, that's total on the two
That's
bills
the
from
two that
Mertco.
we've seen, that we have?
Yes.
All right.
Yep. Total on that one's $23,312.59. Would it be easier for you if we do this in two motions? That bill's laying on the table right now. This other project's not been finished.
Yeah, do it in 2 motions.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to pay the two bills to Mertco that total $23,312.59.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Make a motion to pay up to $5,000 on the shelter sheds, whatever you want to call those, that's currently being constructed to house the, I believe it's an acid.
Drip chemicals.
Yes.
Yeah, the chemicals, yeah.
Second.
So moved.
And that's to keep that from freezing up, so. Okay. Motion second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. On the personnel, Lyndall and Jonathan.
Yeah, I
would you like to
want
speak on that?
to make a motion to, we're recently losing a contract with a school, and it's going to affect their pay, and I want to make a motion to keep the employees' pay, Lyndall and Jonathan, at their same rate after their contract expires mid-November.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I need a motion to go into executive session to discuss litigation and personnel per KRS 61-810-1C and F.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Call the meeting back to order. Next item on the agenda, transfers.
All right, you have these on the drive. The first transfer is for our Oak Level project out of our ARPA funds. And then I need to add transfers for the sanitation repairs and the sheds for the drip buildings that we talked about earlier in the meeting, as well as miscellaneous for a bill. And I think we should move that out of reserves for now. The sanitation items, we can take that from reserves and replace it with a budget amendment at a later date, amending an excess carryover from the prior year to cover those sanitation items. That's it on the appropriation
Okay.
transfers.
Need a motion to
So
approve the
moved.
appropriation transfer. Motions or second?
Second.
Second, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, for the bank transfers, I have also on the drive, there are 5 different ones into our funds that we subsidize out of occupational tax. Those are all budgeted.
Move we approve the bank transfer.
Second.
Motion second, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Payment of the bills.
So moved.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion second, their discussion?
Okay, so we need to add a payment of a bill after discussion with council. We need to pay a bill to, I guess, the Benton Country Club for $2,600.
Right, this goes back to some damage that was done to their property when the Southwest One extension line went through there. Total repair estimate was $10,200, and it's being split between Mertco, City of Benton, and Marshall County. So our portion would be $2,600.
So we need to add that to the payment of the bills and approve it.
And allow him to execute the.
And allow judge to execute the document that will, once paid, release of us of any liability.
I will have to recuse myself from this vote. Is there any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Need a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
Motion second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.